Welcome to Screenwriters B!
Yay!
Hey everybody! Welcome to episode 19.
Wow.
Wow.
We're doing really great, and once
Steaming
again,
through.
we have a very talented panel of working screenwriters here. And to introduce them this time for episode 19, I've done a little alliteration using the old brain. So please welcome the entertaining enigma of Eric Ingram.
Very good.
I like that.
You can use it. It's yours.
Because you really don't know which way I'm going to come at you. I love that.
Never know.
I love that. Anyway, hello, screenwriting world and my illustrious, wonderful panel. Thanks for number 19. We made it to 19.
19!
Wow. So yeah, I write comedy and action for those of you who know, and I just love screenwriting to death. So glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Moving on, we have the hilarious hipster, Heidi Mastrogiovanni.
Yay!
I love it. Thank you. I love that, Anne. And thank you. I just love it. And thank you for bringing us together for number 19. Thanks to this fabulous panel of friends and colleagues, and thanks to our fabulous audience. This is such a joy.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And we also have the make-believe master, Margaret Risley.
Oh, it's me. Oh, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a joy. Always great to be here talking. It's more fun than work, that's for sure. Good to see you.
Exactly. And rounding off our panel, we have our very own Nocturnal Nirvana, Nicole Jones-Dion. Ends are really hard.
Ends are hard. I was wondering what you were going to do with the ends. I'm impressed.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I'm procrastinating from some rewrite notes and doing this instead. And as Margaret says, this is way more fun. So.
Oh, cool! Yay! Well, and I'm your artsy announcer.
No, wait.
No. That's
You
not
come up with a better one?
No, you gave us all wonderful ones. You gotta come up with something. Come on, Anne.
Awesome, ambidextrous Anne.
Oh.
Yes, I love that. I can write with both hands. I type with them both. Yeah. Thank you, Margie.
Pleasure.
Well, today's episode is about finding Mr. Right, or in our case, Mr. Right producer. And that's always the trick, isn't it? Finding someone that is the right producer for your script. And we wanted to go through a little bit of how you guys do that. Heidi, how do you do that?
I have had so much fun and made some really great connections at film festivals. That has been just a joy for me. And the people I'm working with on a town called Peculiar, I met at the Method Fest in California, in Southern California. And go to film festivals. They're so much fun. Go talk to people, meet people. Have a blast.
That's a great idea. Eric, how about you?
I think it's so important to know who and what people make your type of film. This whole kind of, and usually in most business atmospheres and environments, you could kind of like throw everything out the wall and see what sticks. Not so much in writing. You really need to go to know exactly which wall you're throwing at and who you're throwing it at. Like, you really need to know. It cuts out so much work. It cuts out a lot of wasted time. It cuts out a lot of rejections and all that stuff that make you feel like, oh, no one wants me. It's not that they don't want you. You're giving them the wrong thing. Give them what they want. So if you're an action person, know all the action production houses, the directors, producers. Like, you got to be real. You got to be real specific and targeted in what you do.
A great point. Margie, the information's out there, right, to find?
It is, absolutely. On Wikipedia and IMDb, just search, movies that you like, producers, directors that you like, and don't limit it to producers. Directors are a good source as well. the information is there. Look for whoever's been involved in projects that you like, and look at the companies that, try to keep current. IMDb is not always totally current, but it's a pretty good resource, and that'll tell you who's been involved. And there's usually a big long list of producers involved in certain projects, so look them all up. Have a look and see what else they've done, who else they've been involved in. It's a great resource, and the same with Wikipedia. It's you'll see that there's a big list of who does what, so it's worthwhile checking into. And before I move on, before I let you move on, sorry, I've discovered that short films are actually a good way of getting yourself noticed, and I never would have thought that, but yeah, I'm finding that it is.
Yeah, Eric, had a lot of you've had a lot of success with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have so many ideas, and I'm not the only one. I'm sure you guys do. There's just so many ideas that you think, oh my God, it has to be a feature. But actually, if you can cut right to the heart of the story and get right to the exciting part, it's probably a 10 to maybe 15-page short that'll get you just as noticed as the 100-page script. So yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool. Nicole, do you have something to add to this, or?
I mean, kind of adding. I mean, I agree with what everybody else has already said. So one thing definitely to do, if you've got, once you finish your script, if you want to go out and start shopping it, is look up films that are similar to yours, similar genre, similar budget, and see who was involved. And don't overlook, like she was saying, don't overlook directors, but also there's a lot of actors that also have their own production companies and are looking to kind of break out of acting and do other things. So don't overlook actors either. Another fun resource I use for reference is the film catalog, which I believe is tied in with AFM. It's the marketplace there, and you can see these are films that are a lot of them are still in production or development, and you can kind of get a sense of who was involved with those. And you can, the nice thing about that too is you can sort by budget, you can sort by genre, and again, it's just another resource to try to find other people that are working in your space, and try to find, like Eric was saying, don't give a square peg a round hole. Make sure you're targeting the people who are looking for what you have.
Yep, great advice. And I guess the follow-up to all this is, how do you approach them once you've created a list of, maybe 5 names? How do you get out there? Anybody, Heidi?
I like to make phone calls. I do actually, and usually it's the assistant. And I find that if you ask, basically, can I get some information, and approach it in a, is this possible? And not aggressively, just confidently. And is it possible that I could maybe send this? I've had really, really great success with that, and I think emails are great too, because people can look at them at their convenience. Short and sweet. Get your hook out. Get your hook out. Whether it's an email or a phone call, 1 sentence. Get your pitch out. Grab them. Right.
Equally, Eric, are you emailing or phoning also? What?
All the above. Yeah, because again, you gotta. And each of us is, I mean, it gets a little, I think it gets into personalities. Like some people don't want to cold call because maybe they're not bold enough to cold call, or they fear rejection. Like, we can get into a whole other discussion. But anyway, you got to understand that this is the only way someone is going to know what you have is if you tell them.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
For sure.
So either if it's email, then you, like Heidi just said, you make sure you have a killer query letter. You know what I mean? 2-sentence log line, hook them immediately. If you're going to call, have your 30-second, people say a minute. I say 30 seconds. I don't even think people who don't know you really want to hear you talk that long. So 30 seconds, hook them. Like, really? I mean,
they want you to talk that long.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like the more you call, you just realize people are busy. Like, really, if it's not good, they don't want to, you know what I mean? And I don't want to put it on them to make them feel like, I don't want to. You could tell it's kind of like that glazed over look when you pitch, they're like, okay, this is not working. You can kind of hear the same thing on the phone while you're talking. Like, yeah, oh, yeah. You're like,
that tone.
Yeah, killer, I mean, I think maybe it's another show, but I think we really need to talk about, you finish the script, now what? Like, you got to have that log line, you got to have that pitch ready. Like, it got to be, in that query letter too, you got to be sharp It got to be professional. It got to be killer, or don't go out yet.
Well, that's a great point, because if you're not offering them something that you know they want, then you shouldn't make the call, right? You're not going to find Mr. Right producer that way.
Right.
So you've got to do that prep work. I think that's a wonderful point. Nicole, how are you contacting people?
I'm more of an email person myself, or Facebook, or LinkedIn. You know, I use the social media a lot, even Twitter. You know, I have a pretty active Twitter following. Follow me on Navarus. If you like weird stuff. Little shameless plug. But yeah, I mean, partly because I suffer from a serious case of foot and mouth disease, and I can censor myself a lot better in email than on the phone.
It's important to know your weaknesses.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and this is a problem I think a lot of writers have, and I know I do, is I don't know when to shut up, and then I start rambling, and then I'm like, and it's like, abort, and so I really need to work on that personally in my own life. So.
Email, you don't have to worry about it.
That's right. But just do, before you hit send, just double check your grammar, your spelling.
Yeah.
And don't ever send out a first draft. I think that should go without saying. Don't ever send out a first draft for anybody to look at.
In any form of any area, no first draft. Margie, now you're in Australia. Obviously, you can't phone up everybody, right?
No, you can't. A friend put me onto, I don't know if you obviously know it, being in the States, Magic Jack, so I can call the States for free. It's fantastic. So I have made cold calls, and I've had great success. I'll never forget one person. I did my research and thought, okay, this producer has done this, and I got an assistant, and I said, I've got this script that was a Scriptapalooza semi-finalist. Oh, send it. And I said, don't you even want to know the log line? He said, no, I've judged for Scriptapalooza, send it. So, use any sort of credibility that you have up front. I think that's important, so that they know that you're not just a wannabe giving them a call, cold call, because I think some people do, and they're not really prepared for the call properly. I've also used email. I've also used contacts that I already have to get my work to one of their contacts. So, network. I haven't used Twitter, I must admit. I have been approached on LinkedIn by somebody else, by a producer. So it's definitely worthwhile getting yourself out there, getting a bit of a profile. So yeah. Use everything.
Use everything. Yeah, I've recently gotten into Stage 32, which is another site that links all kinds of creatives, and I'm too new at it. I joined. I guess I found out I joined a year ago, but I'm only now doing it. So.
Okay. Well, we'll have to connect. I'm on there. I haven't used it much.
We are. We're connected. We're connected.
Oh, we are. Oh, okay.
So good. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Does anyone else have something to add about this?
It's a great point you made about LinkedIn. Nicole and I just said about LinkedIn. I personally, I went in because I had to get out of my comfort zone, because I kind of I believe that my work should do all the work. You know what I'm saying? Like my work. It's not about marketing. I had to get out of it. It's a mindset. It just really is a mindset. I don't really like to talk about myself in my work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work for me. But I have to get out of that, because, like I just said, no one's going to know my work unless I tell them about it. So I had to.
That's right.
So I had to force myself to do it. Anyway, so probably about March, April, we were in the MSC1 and we were doing marketing. And so I think at the time, LinkedIn, I probably had about 250 connections, and I just told myself, you know what, I'm going all in. I'm just going to make sure I do something little every day to increase my network and all that kind of stuff. So right now, I'm at about 2,200.
Wow, that's
very good.
Right, and eventually I would. Well, if anyone needs to know, I can tell you how LinkedIn works, so you can get to people. About it.
He's got the inside scoop.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's algorithms, all this kind of things, but literally, it's.
Give us one great tip. Give us one takeaway of it.
From LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So usually when you go on the page, there's a part on the right-hand side, usually up top, that says "See more people."
Right.
So what you don't do is there's like maybe like 3 faces there, 3 accounts. If you hit connect there, it'll go to, oh, do you know my friend, colleague, did you go to Google it, right? Don't use that because that'll get you in trouble. Because if you're sending it to people you don't know, they may report it to LinkedIn. And that's how you get your account canceled, which they've already sent me an email before because I didn't know. Right? What you do is you hit the, underneath it says see more, you hit that, and then all of a sudden 300 faces will come up.
Wow.
And if you hit like or connect there, it goes to the person.
Oh.
Cool. Well, see, that's good to know. You just saved
But
us.
that's what I mean.
I'll put that up here too to recap. So but that's great. That's a great instant tip. So that's how you built your LinkedIn network.
Yeah, and literally there's and just like Margaret just said, there was someone who liked my stuff before. I just connected with them on there, and I wanted to get to this director who did one of these spiritual films, but he's at Sony, so you can't get directed to him. So he introduced me to the guy. I connected with the guy at Sony. I told him about the film. He's just like, I don't do scripts, but if the movie gets going, call me back.
The movie got going.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We could talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and that's how you find Mr. Right? I mean, romance in real life too. It's that's the best connection.
Exactly.
You found somebody that can endorse you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So for every story you hear about people who ended up at Starbucks and they were in line with a producer, for every one of those stories, there's 1,000 stories of people not missing an opportunity because they went the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's true. Well, that's cool, guys. I think some good encouragement for everybody. There's a lot of resources out there that don't require moving to LA, but if you're there, there's also a lot of great networking opportunities within, I think, every city too. So you need to find the festivals near you. Maybe even the meetup groups. There's a lot of opportunity. Just get out there. Yeah. Take off your writer hat and become your PR master.
Yeah, because nobody else will do it for you. You really have to be active. It's up to us, nobody else.
Very true. All right, moving on, we're going to have a little Screenwriters show and tell. Are we ready for this one?
Yeah.
This is easy. So today's show and tell is if you have something around your computer that sort of inspires you. I'm calling it a good luck charm, but something that's always there that you can always go, hey, I got that. Nicole, do you have one?
Share? I mean, this isn't really a good luck charm, but I was showing this to you guys earlier. My husband is an animator, and so I have this treadmill desk, and he draws these little snails. I don't know if you can see the little snail. And he puts it all over my treadmill.
Adorable.
Yeah, they're very cute.
Because you walk so fast.
Slow and steady wins the race, maybe?
Yes. Long run.
Brilliant. Margie, how about you?
Well, I used to have this little seahorse that some lovely lady by the name of Anne Kimbrough gave me some time ago.
I did.
Stuck on my monitor, and I accidentally called him Oscar without even thinking, and then it hit me. Oscar! Oh my God, I like that. But then I think he got sucked up in the vacuum cleaner. My husband gave me this years ago, so he's Oscar 2.
Oh, great. I love it.
Yeah.
Got the crystal. That's good energy. Yeah. Great one. Heidi, do you have a little trinket?
I do. I love to smile. I love to laugh. And this is from a very, very dear friend of mine. These two, a wonderful German producer I met, Caroline. Grüß dich, Caroline. And it's, of course, these guys. It's a minion.
Oh.
It's one of the minions. And then it's so fluffy. It's so fluffy. So, to make me smile all the time. And smiling is energizing.
Yeah, that'll keep you smiling. I love minions. They're adorable.
I do too.
Eric, do you have something fluffy?
No, I wish I could. I wish I did. It is a fluffy thing, but it's not fluffy. Okay, I'll see. Hopefully I can do it.
Well,
so
wait, what's there?
That's my daughter.
Well,
Oh,
that's
Very
good.
good.
I have this. I know it's
There
hard.
it is.
she's precious.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have
and
her on
she's
the screen.
encouraging you.
If I put the screens in front, it might have a short feedback thing. So, but
Aw.
yeah, when we turn it on, that's all right. I remember what I'm doing. So.
I love that. I love that. Well, mine does date to my son's time of Legos. Can you see my little Lego guy? So he's the director. I think he's Steven Spielberg, and he's got a little Oscar.
Fantastic.
Can you see the little Oscar here?
Oh my God, it's
So I got
wonderful.
him. Yeah,
Love
I
it.
can play with him when I get bored.
How did you get a little Oscar thing? How did you get that?
It came with something. I can't remember.
Brilliant.
We had a lot of. I can't remember. I have to remember. It came as. I don't know. Oop. But one of the millions of Lego sets I've purchased for my son over the years. I got these guys and I've snagged them and built my own. Spielberg.
Stay out of mommy's office.
Yes. Well, and I'm sure everybody else out there has their own little totems, as we do, and may they bring you many, many hours of happy writing.
Yes.
Yes. We do have a question from our loving audience. This is like, can you share some examples of some good ways to network? I mean, we actually have talked about a lot of them already, but someone wanted the good ways and the bad ways. So we've really kind of covered the good ways. So why don't we show some actually cautionary ways of don't do this? Because once you make a bad impression, it lasts and it closes a door, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Heidi, what are some ways that you would not network and you would say caution someone?
Don't ever. My big thing is don't ever be negative, and make sure that you're bringing something to the table. Don't just ask for people to do things for you to help you. Make sure that you can help people, and really approach it with a really positive desire to help other people, so that you can all work together. And just be nice, be gracious, be warm, be positive, be optimistic.
No, those are good points. I know that recently I saw somebody post something online that was like, hey, I need an agent. Someone help me. I'm like, oh, I mean, to a mass amount of people.
Crazy.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. You need to offer, you need to have a relationship with everybody before you ask such a huge favor.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Sure.
Nicole?
Well, two things, and these are kind of anecdotal. I haven't done them, and I haven't actually seen them done personally, but I've heard the stories. They make me laugh. One is don't ever follow a producer into the restroom and pitch him in the restroom.
Don't do it.
If you happen to see one at like a festival or something, don't go stalking into the men's room. That's a bad idea, especially if you're a girl. The other thing is, don't go walking around with your script in your back pocket and just handing it to people unsolicited. It's like, don't ever send an unsolicited script. It's like, always get their permission and say whether it's okay before you just dump your work on somebody. Because I've heard stories about people being ambushed with scripts before too, and that's usually pretty bad form. So don't do either of those.
Good. Very, very good ones. Margie? Did you have some?
I think on social media, what turns me off is being bombarded by messages that are sort of nothing to do with what's going on, sort of tangents to writing. I don't want to see heaps and heaps of stuff junking up Twitter and Facebook and stuff. So that sort of thing to me, Yeah,
everything you post can't be about you, right? You need to retweet,
absolutely.
You need to have conversations.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Eric?
Everything that everyone else says. I think the biggest problem I see when I hear all these kind of horror stories is entitlement. Like, you wrote this script.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you're entitled that, I could just drop it off and leave it in the producer's limousine, or all these stories that you hear about every day, right? This is how the story happened. And lo and behold, you'll learn that a lot of those stories aren't true in the first place. It's Hollywood, so stories are made up to make a good story.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But the other thing is entitlement. So you must understand, you must be courteous. It's just like, imagine me just coming into your house, moving all your stuff around, do what I want to do, right? You're not going to be coming back to my house. You know what I mean? They're still human. Sure. They're still human. So you still got to be courteous. Still got to be, like everyone said, what's in it for them too. So you got to bring them something that is professional, sharp, clean, great script, all that kind of stuff. And then you must learn to respect their time. So let's say you promise them, hey, sir, can you get an email? You have 2 minutes, right? You have 2 minutes, and they get on the phone with you, right? And that's all. And the conversation is going well. Next thing you know, it's 10 minutes later, right? Now you might think that was great, but you asked for 2 minutes, right? So what you should do is try to end. If you get 2 minutes, try to end in 1:30 and say, I know I respect your time. So if we could do something later, I will email you, but I thank you for your time, and get out. And then they will know you understand what I'm going through. You understand this business, and you understand my time.
Right.
You understand?
It's great
like,
subtext.
It's very telling the truth. Like, forget all these little scammy type ways to hook up with people. Don't even go down that road. Be honest, upright, and forthright, because you are building a relationship, and that's what you want. You might not get this. You might not get the script sold.
No problem.
You might not get the script sold, but you can at least build a relationship for the next script down the road.
To add on to what Eric was just saying, another thing that's really that'll turn people off is if you come across as desperate. You don't want to have that, like, oh my God, please, read my script kind of thing. Don't call every day. Have you read it? Have you read it? Have you read it? Or email every day. Because their time is valuable, and allow a couple of weeks. If you do manage to get your script to someone, allow a couple weeks before you start hounding them, and even then, don't hound.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
because desperation is not attractive to anyone.
Right. Well, my theory is if they like it, they are going to find you. You don't have to. So if you don't hear anything, I mean, the odds are maybe they didn't do it, they haven't read it yet, but the odds are that it's not for them.
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay to ping them, say, hey, have you had a chance to read it yet? Because sometimes they're busy and they'll have a big stack of scripts and they're like, oh man, I meant to read it. Thanks for the reminder, but don't pester,
Yeah. Yeah, like one follow-up, like 2 weeks later, or if it's nice when you drop something off to get some sort of reference of when. It's okay to say, when should I follow up with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Short sentences, like Heidi had said earlier, short sentences, quick to the point. Hey, just checking in to get an update on my script. That's it. That's all they need to know.
Right.
And that, I'm not working on a next script. You just gotta understand time, and it's just practice. Literally, you're gonna mess up, so don't worry about it. But just keep doing it, and you'll realize, oh, this is exactly what I need to do, and this is all I need. And let it go.
Yeah. And that's a good point. You are going to screw up, so don't start with your number one person you want to contact.
Oh, that's
practice on people that and that takes off the pressure all in itself, right? If you're practicing on someone that's not your number one desire to work with.
Right. But that's a whole.
You work your way up to Steven Spielberg. You don't start with him.
Right.
Great point.
Stevie baby is not on my dialing list yet.
No, not yet. Well, guys, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode. Woo!
Yay!
I know, it's so fast. They go so fast.
I know, they go so fast. It's because you're good at it. That's it.
Well,
19 times.
19 times. Practice.
19 times. Practice is right.
That's cool. Well, I'd like us to sign off with a catchphrase or just some motivational piece of information that you'd like to share. Heidi, let's start with you.
If I may, I'm going to do 2 quotations from Mike Nichols, who we lost, the great Mike Nichols. Mike Nichols said, any good movie is filled with secrets. And he said, the only safe thing is to take a chance.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mike Nichols.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Eric?
That's such a great. You just, I had something, but just adding the whole Mike Nichols. That guy like showed me.
Get your heart.
You know, I was. 'Cause, I was back in New York. It's a whole other story. But anyway, him and Nichols and May was a comedy team back in.
Yeah.
Back
Yes.
Yeah.
and they were brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant. I'm making sure you brilliant. Because if you saw the work they were doing back then, and you realize what they've done in their careers, they were so smart that made me go, you know what? It's not about race, it's not about color, it's about the work. And you just have to watch their work. So a shout out, I'm just going to say a shout out to Mike Nichols, and that'll be mine. Everyone go watch something from Mike Nichols.
You know what? I'll find something. I'll find something on YouTube and put up a link. Right.
Find the funeral. Find the funeral director. Find that bit.
The funeral director.
Yes, brilliant.
Find that bit. That's a brilliant. I'm telling you. You'll see. But anyway, it's all about the writing. That was my point. It's all about the writing.
All about. Margie?
I've got a quote somewhere here. It says, "It's not hang on, I'll grab it. It's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you are not."
Oh.
I like that one.
I do too. Have faith in yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, lovely. Nicole?
Okay, I'm not going to do this in the funny Yoda voice, but do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just do it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yep.
So imagine that, but in Yoda's voice.
With the Yoda.
Can anyone do it? No, you can't do it? Eric, I was counting on you.
I just want to make a note.
Not.
I just want to make a note from episode 18. See how funny Nicole is, Anne? Do you see Anne?
No, you know. I know.
I'm playing.
No. I mean, this totally vindicates Anne. I just got notes back on one of my scripts, and they said, take out all the comedy.
No.
Sick people are you working for?
I don't believe it. You are funny. Episode 18 proved it. Yeah, I think you should send them the link.
Episode proves it.
Oh gosh. Well,
I try to be funny, but it doesn't always work. So.
Well, that's comedy. It's right, Heidi and Eric. That's
do
comedy.
Or do not, but whatever. There is no try.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Well, mine was theme is like the chorus of a song. So find out what you're repeating, and that's your theme.
Beautiful.
Embrace your theme.
Good point. Great point.
Well, once again, guys, I so appreciate you being here. You are all working and busy and crazy with your own lives, and I thank you for taking the time to be here at Screenwriters Beat. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. Please like us, subscribe to us, and we got one more show, and then it's the end of the season.
Whoa.
We'll see you next time on Screenwriters Beat. Bye.
Next time.
Bye.